So for this series of blogs, we're going to be examining different ways to acquire jazz vocabulary and work on making it your own. And to start with that, I just wanted to point out that really the best way to learn any sort of vocabulary, whether it's spoken English or a little bit more abstract, jazz or bebop, something like that, the best way to assimilate that type of vocabulary is by listening and copying it. And so I'd say, especially if you're a beginning improviser, stay away from transcription books for now. Or there's a great resources online where you can we could look up the song that we're going to do today. We could find a transcription written out of the solo and try and learn it by pushing the buttons on our instrument. But that doesn't really tell us what it sounds like. And so always starting from the sound first, sound before sight. So the solo we're going to tackle today, in part, is Charlie Parker's solo on Billy's Bounce, also a composition that he wrote. So first off, we're just going to listen to a little bit of that, and we're going to isolate just the first measure of his solo. And so just to give some context, we're in the key of F major, and so that means that this is our resting tone of F, so keep that in mind. So here is Bird. We're going to hear a little bit of the end of the melody that he plays with Dizzy Gillespie, and then we're just going to stop after the first bar of his solo. Here we go. Just going to go that far. Boo boo da boo da da doo doo da. Slow it down a little bit. Boo da boo da da doo doo da. Boo da boo da da doo doo da. So if I'm learning something for the first time, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and isolate a small portion of that vocabulary and see if I can sing it. And so if I go back and check, did what I just sang sound like what Bird was playing? All right, that sounded pretty close. And I might want to sit down and pick out some of the pitches on my instrument or the piano. I know that we're in the key of F, but he doesn't start on that note. He starts on bo dot, so do. And he continues upwards. So if I were to find those pitches, and now I can sing along with it. Boo da boo da da doo da da, boo da boo da da doo da da. So I think that that's right. So now I'm going to try to sing it along with Bird. Sounds pretty close. And if I had notes in there that, I might want to stop and go back, listen to it some more, get it in my ears, try singing along, pick out the notes on the piano or on my instrument until it felt like it was settling into the notes that he was playing. Okay, so we've identified the pitch content of this little idea. It starts on our so, if we're in the key of F. He lands really nicely on those chord tones. 1, 3, 5. It's outlining the changes right there. So I have the pitches down and I'm getting the rhythm pretty accurate, but I want to make sure that I add the swing feel that comes from the accents that Charlie Parker plays. It's not necessarily about emphasizing every third triplet or even really trying to put it in the box of triplets right off the bat. I'm just really trying to copy what he's doing and follow the shaping of the accents. So now that I have the pitches down and some of the rhythm, I'm going to listen for the shape of his accents. He's actually emphasizing, if we're thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, on those downbeats, on beat 1, 2, 3, and 1. A little bit counterintuitive to a lot of things that we might think about jazz as being always on 2 and 4, or the upbeat triplet. But if we're copying Bird, that's the way he's doing it. So we're going to try and emulate that. I can kind of ghost some of those notes that are inside there, because again, the important notes of that structure of that phrase are the I could leave out the rest of those notes. It outlines 1, 3, 5. So I'm starting to get this phrase in my head, and I want to take it in another direction. And for that, for part 2 of this, we're going to get into some metronome exercises.